Okay, well look what is on the rubbish pile here. It's actually not the rubbish time. This has been put out away from that time, but it's something that I'm seeing all the time and it worries me a lot. It's one of those battery powered lawnmowers and I think they're near next to useless. This lawnmower, it's 18 volt lithium ion. It's an Ozito brand. This is just a low-end thing that you buy from the hardware shop Bunnings in Australia. Now the thing I can talk about this is I can't see barely any wear and tear that you'd normally see on a lawnmower on either side of this machine. It looks like it's actually just come out of box, and this is a very, very common thing I'm seeing on the rubbish piles. And I'm going to take a look underneath because that's going to tell us a much greater story. Woo! Okay, this is really speaking to me in all sorts of ways. It's got a funny, I don't know whether that's a normal thing or not, it's quite graunchy. Looking at the blade here, there's basically no wear and tear on the blade. This would be the cutting side, and this is the side that would flick the grass up to go into the catcher, which is up that way. Because I'm in Australia, it's a spider's nest, but there's also something quite curious here, and it looks like a great big piece of metal as like a weight they've put into the front of this machine. It's just, I mean, maybe without this thing would be as light as a feather. Okay, that's just really, really strange. But I can just see from this here, and for the fact on the sides here, there's basically next to no damage. This lawnmower was near next to useless. Extreme buyer beware buying any of these battery powered lawnmowers, and these are sometimes not cheap because the battery systems on these are often fairly expensive. Now what I'm going to take a look at is the catcher area, because that will also speak to us about what's going on here. Okay, this is where the grass gets zoomed into the catcher. It has done some cutting. One thing I was reading online about these, especially with the Ryobi models, was they couldn't cut grass down low and they had struggled when the grass got a bit high. It seemed to be a very, very common thing. But it looks like this is cut grass. At least it looks like it's actually captured grass as well, because I was reading they struggled to capture grass. But these are just a complete and utter nightmare, waste of time and big blow up of money. It's saying there it's 92 decibels. That's caught me by surprise. So to me that's a bit loud. I'm not sure what that means there. I'm just going to try and look for that all important badge. It's going to tell me more about this lawnmower, and it's right there. Ah yes, all important information here. I can see 2018. It doesn't mean that it was purchased in 2018. That's when it was made. May have been bought in 2019, 2020. I'm making this video in 2022, but this lawnmower hasn't done much work in the time that it's been owned, and that's what really worries me. I think the failure of these lawnmowers is, apart from them being gutless, it's the battery systems, and the battery systems can't handle being neglected over the winter time when normally you're not mowing your lawns. It seems like the batteries don't last very long, and then the cost to replace a battery, well, it's basically half the cost of the lawnmower, and that's the fail in going green buying these dumb machines. Because I'm curious about things and I'm very weird, I did take a look at one of these lawnmowers at my local Bunnings store. This is very, very similar to the one that I found dumped on the rubbish pile in my suburb. I had a good look at this machine. I was even curious about the sound the blade makes when you turn it. Let's listen to the install audio now. Okay, that graunchy sound sounds exactly like what I heard on the one that was thrown out on the side of the road. And if you're curious, the make date of this lawnmower was the year 2020, but all the other stats there are basically identical to the one that was thrown out. I even walked this up and down the aisle. I looked like a goose trying to mow the concrete there, and one good attribute about this lawnmower is it's extremely light. So maybe I can sell it like this. If you want an extremely light lawnmower that's near next to useless, well, here's the perfect choice. I think the problem with these smaller battery-powered lawnmowers is very simple. People purchase these expecting it to do a larger job than it was ever designed for. It also gets back to that saying, buy cheap, buy twice. And so many times we run to the stores, I've done it myself, you see that thing that seems like a really good bargain price, you grab it, and within a short time it's being thrown out because it was basically useless. And in the end, every time that happens, you know who the winner is? Well, it's not you, and it's not me. The winner is always China. Let's take a look at the product review website, and I'm going to read a positive review about a mower very similar to this, and also a negative review. Okay, first, the positive review of the 2 reviews available to look at. It's by Karen L, and the title is, I love my little mower. This is a good review. It's detailed, and we can pick out the things that are wrong with the mower by the positive language in this. Okay, here we go. I've had this mower for 2.5 years. Let me pull up here. It's got a 5-year warranty on the lawnmower, but the batteries have got a 3-year warranty. So we're getting close to the end of the battery warranty life. Continuing on here. It is lightweight, which is a positive, and it's easy to push around. That's also positive. The convenience of the battery means no having to store fuel in tins or pull start or do anything. You just put the battery in and go. Well, Karen, you haven't come across the time when your battery is going to stop working, and just putting the battery in and going means going down to the hardware store to buy another battery that costs half the price of your little mower. Okay, continuing on. But use common sense, people. Thank you, Karen. Here's Karen telling us to use our common sense, as if we're stupid. Sorry about that. Anyway, it will not cut long, thick grass. Hang on, let me read that again. It will not cut long, thick grass. Every time I've gone out to mow the lawn, number 1, it's been long. Number 2, the grass has been thick. Isn't that what grass is about? Sorry, I keep distracting you, but we've got to say these things. You can't leave the lawn and only mow once a fortnight. Well, hang on, you're mowing every week? Don't you want to get a lawnmower that cuts the grass properly, then you're only maybe cutting every 3, 4, 6 weeks? Isn't choosing a lawnmower about making your life easier and not being a slave to mowing every week, Karen? Continuing on. This is a small mower with a little battery-powered engine. Well, you know what, Karen? I wouldn't have bought anything like this, but you did. Sorry, continuing on. I live in southeast Queensland, and in summer I will mow twice a week, sometimes 3 times, depending on the weather. Karen, you're going out with your little mower at least 3 times a week to mow your lawns. This is amazing. We buy mowers in life to reduce the amount of times we want to go out and mow the lawns, because mowing the lawns is a drag, Karen. You don't want to be mowing the lawns 3 times a week, Karen. Please listen to me, Karen, please. Okay, continuing on. I have a 470 square metre block with couch lawn. Frequent mowing improves the lawn and it makes the job easy. Okay, Karen, let's just think back. You're now saying to me that frequent mowing improves the lawn and makes the job easy, but you're slaving on this lawn. You've already told us sometimes 3 times a week. This makes no sense, Karen. I'm sorry, but you're just making work for yourself with your little mower. So, Karen, if you go on a holiday away from your little mower and your couch lawn, and you miss mowing during summertime for maybe a week or 2 weeks, you're going to come back to a lawn that your little mower will not be able to cut. And you'll be having to ask your neighbour, who's probably got a petrol mower, to say, hey, can you please come over and mow my lawn because my little mower won't cut it. Sorry for that derailment, but we had to go there. Continuing on, it takes me less than 30 minutes, and that is 30 minutes to cut her lawn 3 times a week in summertime, depending on the weather that is. I just take off the top to keep the lawn looking nice. So Karen is a total slave to mowing her lawn with a little mower. If she goes away on holidays, she won't be able to cut a lawn. We're learning all this from this review, this positive review. I love it. Let me continue on. I've read many negative reviews about it being difficult to assemble, but I had no problem at all. The battery is a little hard to remove if you have small, sore hands. I shouldn't laugh. But I managed by using 2 hands instead of 1. Thank God, God gave us 2 hands, Karen. That's all I can say. Continuing on, at under $200, it's excellent value for money, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Yes, Karen, it is a 5-year warranty, but the battery that you're using on this little mower has a 3-year warranty. Without the battery running, guess what, Karen? Your mower won't be cutting any of your couch lawn 3 times a week. I need to point this out, and I'm going to continue on here. I was unable to mow my lawn with my old, traditional, heavy mower. Couldn't push it Couldn't pull start it. The little Ozito has given me back my mowing independence. Thank God for that, Karen, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy your mowing independence slaving away on your couch lawn during summertime at least 3 times a week. I love it. And from that very uplifting and positive review, we have learnt everything that's wrong with this little mower. Thank you very much, Karen from Queensland. And now to what I'm calling the negative review from Alistair in Adelaide, South Australia. And Adelaide's way nicer than Sydney. It's titled, "It's not the lawnmower that's the issue, it's the batteries." Interesting. Giving it 2 stars. Quite honestly, the lawnmower itself performs fine. It's a blade that spins. There's nothing to it really. And that's a very good point, because what I've noticed with all the electric lawnmowers, there's not much to them at all. Continuing on, what is the issue is Ozito batteries that power it. A 4 amp hour battery cutting ankle high grass will last no longer than 2 meters by a 2 meter patch before it's exhausted and you need to swap it out or wait to recharge it. To explain 2 meters by 2 meters to people who understand imperial, 2 meters is basically 6.5 feet, so it's a 6.5 by 6.5 foot square patch of long grass that Alistair says exhausts a 4 amp hour battery. Now, what's interesting on the side of the box of this little mower, where it says brushless motor technology, it says up to 200 meters square, and 200 meters square is 650 feet square, lawn area on a 4 amp hour battery. There's a little picture of what looks like long grass. If you're an ant, it could be ankle height grass, but you'd never know. I look at a lot of these electric mowers in store, and it's always very interesting the claim that's made on the box about what this mower can actually get up to. And I think a lot of people look at that, they don't understand the limitations of what these machines are bound by when it comes to cutting grass, especially if it's long grass, and more so if it's long wet grass. Continuing on, mowing the back lawn just became a 3-hour exercise for me when I only have a 4 amp hour and 3 amp hour battery. Well, my advice to Alistair is very simple. Connect up with Karen from Queensland, get some couch lawn, and invite Karen down to South Australia so she can come along and mow your lawn 3 times a week during summer. You see, I'm really good at solving these sorts of problems. But most importantly here, Alistair's review shows us we need to mow like Karen mows for this little mower to be of any use at all. I'm really starting to lose count how many times I see something like this out on a rubbish pile and it's done next to no work. And of course you're going to ask, did it have a battery in it? This is where the battery would go, and there's no battery in there, and I'm pretty sure this is the problem with this system of lawn mowing. It's got a really, really cheap and nasty feel to it. That's the lever that you would turn the lawnmower on. It just feels nasty. This is just a piece of absolute crap. Well, this is 2 days after I looked at the lawnmower that was there on this rubbish pile. It's gone, someone's picked it up. But look what's appeared. It's a stick vacuum cleaner, and this is quite a curious find. We'll have a close look at this Kogan stick vac in another video. There's elements of this which are very similar to a Dyson stick vac, but there's an aspect to this stick vac which is nothing like Dyson. I've always had that saying, the rubbish piles talk to me, and so often I've looked at something on the rubbish piles, it's not very old, and if it's still working, you got to ask yourself, why has someone decided to throw this out even though it's still working? I'll finish up here. I did take some still photos of the little Ozito electric lawnmower. It would still be within its 5-year warranty, and you can see by the pictures just how little work this machine has done. It's in very good condition considering it's a lawnmower. Now, I see way too many of these types of lawnmowers on the rubbish piles, and I looked at that Ryobi one, which is embedded and hidden inside a much, much longer video where I study rubbish piles. But taking a look at that Ryobi started to make me really think, what's going on here? Why are these machines being thrown out in what seems like very short time? With that Ryobi electric lawnmower, I did extract the electrical components from it. I sent it to another YouTuber that I know called Mescal, M3SCA1. God, I hope I said that right there. And he knows his electronics and how things work in that realm. And we had a bit of a chat on the phone about what's going on inside these lawnmowers. But it's best if you hear it from him and not me, because then you're hearing it from the source and not someone parroting from the source. But the one thing he taught me and explained to me, and it's very simple, that the weakest link in these systems is the lithium batteries. So if you're going out to buy one of these electric lawnmowers powered by lithium batteries, you need to exercise extreme buyer beware. You've got to be really careful in how you interpret what's said on the boxes of these lawnmowers. And you really need to get your head around the battery systems, the cost of replacing the batteries, because you may find in a few years' time you may need, let's say, 2 more batteries, and to buy 2 batteries is the same price as buying a whole new electric lawnmower. And if buying one of these fancy electric lawnmowers is all about saving the planet and you've swallowed the green pill, well, watch out, because you may have saved the planet, but there's nothing that's going to save your wallet. And that is the absolute game of going green. I think we need a laugh at the end of this very serious video, which is going to be a total waste of time to produce on YouTube. While I was getting pictures of the lawnmowers in store, I stumbled across a petrol Icta. It's just like mine. The V is missing in store. So lo and behold, I may have started the trend with the Victor company. They've decided to drop the V. I'm finally famous.